Hello everyone. Spent the weekend lazing about, being lazy, unshaven, well, still am unshaven, and generally not paying too much attention to the internet. And I come back and I see that Variablast Challenge has taken on yet another reality bending phase, and for several days after I posted my video, he did not get that I did not want to talk about it anymore, did not want to deal with it anymore. There are other neat things on the internet going on that I want to pay attention to. So I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to block Variablast. I don't want to hear about it. I mean, on my channel. If someone says something it's somewhere else, great, fine, not my problem. But I told y'all I don't want to deal with it. And so, the same way I blocked Warren, a whole lot of numbers, the TFLer. If you're going to come at me and make it harder for me to enjoy being on the internet, then you're not a necessary part of my experience. And to my subscribers who are left, I apologize. I'm going to be a dick about it, but I expect that you will watch what you enjoy and not watch what you don't enjoy. And if I am not something you enjoy watching, then I apologize, but, I'm going to be me. That's enough about that. I don't have to justify it. It's not up for discussion. Whatever. Just don't. Messing around with people's realities is not nice. Stop it. Okay. Then again, I have fun doing it too, but at least I acknowledge I'm doing it. Alright. Enough snark. The important thing I wanted to talk about is a few months ago, I had mentioned that China was shaping up. U.S.-China relations, or China versus the rest of the world, there's probably going to be some kind of trade war happening. What I didn't know is that China was going to do their best to start it. And there's a link in the diplomatic incident that was the pretext for starting this. And basically what China did is do their utmost to deny, this is what is alleged by Japan, that they did their best to deny the access to Japan of something called rare earths. What those are, that's a specific specific group of elements on the periodic table that in vanishingly small quantities are essential to virtually all high-tech production. And so China not letting those go to Japan was basically putting a stranglehold on the world's high-tech community. China is now claiming they didn't do it, since the sailor that was arrested in a very Sea Shepherds-like incident. I really think Japan is getting sick of people in boats. I really do. Anyhow. China is now denying they ever did reduce exports, that they ever did ban exports of rare earths. It's a very, very complicated story. That's why I've got links in the sidebar. If anything, you should be watching this for my befuddlement. But what is interesting is that the key to any kind of power, to measuring the effectiveness of any kind of power, is looking at what happens when you use it and how much weaker that power gets when you use it. Because what has happened now in Australia and in the United States and I think in 3 or 4 other countries, I don't have links for everything. I've been watching this unfold over the past few days and I didn't take very good notes. But China's essential monopoly on rare earths is only because of China being the lowest cost producer. Well, now China has added the opportunity cost of not being able to control when China may or may not be embargoing this. Again, China is vehemently denying that they ever put a ban on it. They were banning exports, or banning smuggling of it. You know, we have seen China so many times say, "Oh yeah, we're going to allow the thing to the renminbi to revalue," and then it goes up 1%, and then doesn't go up anymore, and we allowed it to revalue, and it's like talking with Variablast. Or Gary, or any one of a number of people. It is an entirely different concept of reality. The difference being that the Chinese diplomatic corps, is doing their best to explain the actions of a ruthlessly, as virtually all nations are, including the United States, self-centered institution, the Chinese government. But beyond that, there's really... Now is when the game gets interesting, because rather than, say, do consumer steel products such as bed frames and things like that, or car tires in retaliation for whatever, this, that, the other thing that was happening with Ford a couple of years ago. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I spent most of this weekend sleeping. And when I wasn't, I was looking at this on the web. But they have chosen to essentially go for the grind. And this will cost them. So even if the conventional wisdom is correct, and China, this is going to be China's century, it's not going to be China's century for long if they're spending their political capital like this. They've got a lot to learn. And it's going to bite them on the ass, because this is their first... The Olympics were their first big coming out as a global power in their eyes. And in everybody's eyes, really. That was their coming out party. And this is their very first attempt to use their trade advantage, and I put this in quotes because it is sort of like riding a tiger, to use another parable, to use a parable from China, that in doing this they are undermining the very power they're using. And I'm sorry I'm so tired. I'll quit while I'm ahead or behind. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a good weekend, or I hope you had a good weekend. And things are just now going to start to get interesting, because Chad, the first world, quote unquote, now realizes, okay, China isn't playing around. This is no longer a safe bargain. China is not playing at the same table that everyone is hoping they were at. And so it will be interesting to see how much effort we go to defend ourselves. Anyhow, I said I was ending. I'm going to end now. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a good one.